You worked with on Mission Impossible. Tell us a little about that experience, your experience doing stunts and what you've done. And
Yeah, my friend John is pretty tied in with Hollywood, and he invited us down. He said, "Hey, I got a friend, Jeff Haberstat's putting together a potential gig for Iron Man 3," and jammed down to Paris Valley, California, and did some jumps with ties on and like practice getting into a group formation, and basically proved a concept that we could do it without CGI and keep it real in the movie theater. Keep it real, you know. And we did just that, and we proved it that we should shoot the Iron Man 3 segment. It's called Barrel of Monkeys, where the airplane blows up. Air Force
I
One,
remember
and
that
everyone
scene
gets sucked
so
out of the
well.
airplane.
That's a major scene. That was
Major Duxley reporting for duty, and yeah, I got to be a Marine major on that, and we wore wool suits. Oh my gosh, it was 100. It was 98 degrees, 98% humidity in North Carolina, and oh man, it was hot, and we got yelled at for sweating into our clothes too hard.
All right, I'm here with Miles Daisher. FYI, I don't think I ever share this with anybody on the podcast. Miles, if can go back to my bar mitzvah, I would change my name and say I'm going to change my name to Miles Benjamin Knight. Why? I have no idea. I just love the name Miles. I think it's a cool name. Miles Daisher, strong. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I start off with a share, a real weird share. So, anywho, we're going to get into some fun stuff. We have to go fast because Miles has a lot of ground to cover. So we got to go back to the beginning, man. I mean, I can't wait to get into these jumps in one day and then re-breaking your record. But I want to go back to where are you from? He's in San Diego right now. What did mom and dad do for a living? Because I want to know what kind of built you to do what you do. It's rarefied air. Give us a little taste of that real quick.
Yeah, I was born at a very young age, and my dad's father in the Air Force, and lived in Arizona, Omaha, Nebraska, Central California near Atwater. Moved to Okinawa, Japan, back to California, Beale Air Force Base, to Athens, Greece, to Alconbury, England, graduated high school, went to college in Chico State, and then graduated with a degree in physical education, and lived up in Squaw Valley, Olympic Valley, California, to go skiing for a year, turned into 11 and a half. And in the middle of that, September 6th, 1995, I found myself at Davis, California, Yolo County Airport. YOLO. So here we are, jumping out of airplanes. My friend Frank Gambale, my roommate, he would show us these skydiving videos. I'm like, dude, where do you go to do that? I've always wanted to do that. I mean, visiting family in Ohio at 8 years old playing soccer, we watched a guy land a parachute in the soccer field right next to us with smoke on his foot. And we're like, that was so awesome. I'm going to do that someday. And that someday came 1995, September 6th. And went out to Skydance skydiving and started jumping out of airplanes. My friend Frank Gambale and Mark Broderick and I. And we got it on, and we graduated out of AFF, which is Accelerated Free Fall course, in 3 days. So I did 11 jumps in 3 days, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And still talk to my instructors all the time, Billy Four and Stig, Han, and they're just awesome people and just friends for life, and kind of changed my life in a super positive way for the better for me. And thank you, fellas. Just super fired up. And it's funny because I'm here down in San Diego right now, load organizing. So, dude, now I'm like kind of top of the food chain, ready to take people like flying wingsuits and let's go party in the sky. And I'm just meeting some people. I just met this dude, Mike. He's like, hey, yeah, I follow you on Instagram. And dude, one of my goals is to fly wingsuits with you someday. And I'm on my fifth skydive. I'm about to go rent gear. And I'm like, okay, dude, yeah, make sure you gave him a few pointers, this, that, and those. And it kind of brought me back to when I was first learning. And that just happened like 2 minutes ago. And it's just really cool. Humbling meeting with this new friend, Mike, that I just met too. And then now you, my new friend, Mike, as well, Michael, and fired up to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, man. Awesome encapsulation. I'm always fascinated by like the paradigm shift of like what got you into that. And it's just like 8 years old watching some guy, like, you were at this airfield or something and he jumps out of a plane and it's like, holy shit, and then that pattern set in there and you just grew from there. Have you always been the kind of guy that's like, you got tons of energy, have you been the guy that's always been, like, oh, that's Miles. He's gonna, He's going to win the eating contest or whatever. Is that you?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
could double dog dare me to do anything and I'll pull it off, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome, man.
That's been the
So
story of my life. Yeah.
when does this begin to start to grow into a thing where you're like, yeah, you know what? I want to be the Red Bull guy, but also want to start to, when do you start to say to yourself, when does it go to one level, or was it a slow progression because you break these records and then you stunt coordinating? There's so much there. When does it go from like novice or like very interested to major milestones in career?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, my mom, best advice I've ever gotten is go play outside. And I was always into outdoor activities and wanted to be
Generation X.
a PE major just because so I could play dodgeball all day. And I just like to play and move and be athletic and healthy because I know that you've only got one life to live. So be healthy with it. You'll live a lot longer and enjoy it a lot more. And so, yeah, I started skydiving for fun. And next thing you know, I met a dude, Shane McConkey, and he and I started base jumping same time together. Frank and Bali was teaching us how to do all this stuff. And then I just kind of fell into it. I was in the right place, right time, right people. And I didn't like seek a deal with Red Bull. I just started doing my thing, and I'm always in a competition. Life is a competition. I'm always competing against myself. And that's your biggest adversary is yourself. So, dial that one in and you'll go places. And yeah, I just got really lucky, tied in with the right people, right place. And next thing you know, Shane invited me to this trip in Baffin Island, and it was all Red Bull athletes, Felix Baumgartner, Charles Bryan, Mike Vale, and Shane McConkey and myself. And in the meeting, they were like, okay, who's going to go? Felix Baumgartner, Red Bull athlete. Okay. It's a $500,000 trip for all these athletes to go jump off the biggest, some of the tallest sea cliffs in the world, just down to the frozen ocean in Baffin Island. And they're naming off all the people, and they come to the fifth one and they're all Miles D. Who the hell is Miles D? And I was just really lucky to have gone mountain biking with Paul Crandall, Long Paul, who spoke up for me, and LBU, Long Bob Umvert, lots of longs in there. And he was the main president of Ocean Watch Productions, who they came to Alaska. I was working at Points North Heli Adventures as down day activity director, chief dishwasher, and tail guide and tandem skydive instructor. And I had a song called Living the Dream Falling, and I sang it to him. And Bob Umvert and I kind of hit it off because we both went to Chico State. We were like, Chico, hey, you guys are locked in your editing room. I'll bring you food. You guys like beer? I can bring a pitcher, and they're all, dude, Miles D. And so he spoke up for me as well and liked my style and my song. And next thing you know, I got invited up to Baffin Island. And after doing interviews, and they swore they wouldn't put they were going to go chest up, and I'm sitting in my long underwear, but they put the whole thing in anyway. That's a totally different story. But Red Bull approached me and said, hey, we like your style, like how you interview and what you do. Would you like to fly this parachute and jump out of paragliders? I'm like, oh, yeah. My friends were like, you know what that means? I'm like, yeah, free trip to Colorado, jumping out of paragliders, sick. And next thing you know, I'm wearing a Red Bull helmet and no idea what that meant at the time because, Red Bull had just come to North America in 99. And it actually stems back to my friend Chris Ernst, Uncle E. I was working with him doing a contest, a skiing, snowboarding, and teleski contest called Lord of the Boards, which is skier cross, which is now in the Olympics. And Uncle E, Chris Ernst, is announcing in the Olympics. And yeah, he was also in that, he like, dude, Miles would be perfect for that. And that was a Red Bull branded competition way back in the day. And so that it was just like a culmination of meeting the right people, right place, right time. And it was right when I kind of came to life in the skydiving world and base jumping world. And next thing you know, they're sending me here, there, everywhere. And I'm like 2 million miles on Delta, like just cruising the world. And woo, down in San Diego, we're on a slight wind hold right now, which kind of worked out perfect timing. The universe provides if you just feed the universe, So here we are feeling more lucky than ever. And it's always better to be lucky than good. So stoked to be here right now, Michael. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love your energy, man. That's so cool. I feel it, man. Hey, you talk about health a little bit in the beginning of that.
Yeah.
I can see he's got the veins coming out of the arms a little bit. Looks like he's in good shape. I mean, yeah, man, you look like you got, he's flexing a little bit, but is that because I've had, base jumpers and skydivers on the show. But I've never asked them, do you have to stay in particular shape, or is that just you to really, just like, look, man, I just want to be the best athlete I can be? Or is that
I
like a
think that's
thing? Or is
it.
it,
Yeah.
that's it?
I just want to be able to move and be places. So yeah, the better you can move, the more places you can go to easily. And skydiving, I mean, you don't have to be in super shape, but everything's easier when you are in shape. So yes, if you want to be a pro athlete at anything, go to the gym, hike every day, run a little, I mean, take care of yourself, eat the right foods, you don't have to eat the right foods all the time, but I think everything's good in moderation, including moderation. But I think that it's good to take care of yourself. I mean, feed the machine, feed the dragon if you want to breathe fire, right? So eat your proteins and get after it. And but I mean, yeah, it's skydiving is one of those sports where basically you're falling and you're deflecting wind with your body. So if your body's in great shape, you're going to deflect wind better and you're going to perform better. So everything's easier when you're in shape and healthy. So yeah, I started out as an athlete in high school and athlete in college, and wrestled and pole vaulted and ran the 2 mile and the mile and the 800 and that kind of thing, and high jump, long jump. But played some football, but that was like, whoa, go full warrior style.
Right,
And like, I was the
right.
smallest kid on the field, but yeah, it helped me learn how to become a team player and that kind of thing. And teams always win. And yeah, just stoked to be here. I mean, I busted myself up a couple of years ago, crashing a paraglider. I stalled it out and just set me into the hillside, but I managed to heal. Like, I had surgery on my tibial plateau, and I bounced back in 3.5, 4 months. And most people, it takes 6 months to a year to heal that, but being healthy will help you heal and grow faster. So yeah, be healthy and you'll go far.
Yeah, you had a lot of close. I think Felix, dare I say, that Felix Baumgartner was on the show, or there was he's over in Europe. He's a European
Yeah.
guy.
Yep. Austrian.
Yeah, he think that was he was on the show. It's been a while.
Hanging
It's
out
been
with
like,
Arnold.
yeah, he sounded like, okay, so he told me that he had just like a split second, and it's on a wingsuit.
Yeah.
Same guy, I think. And he said that, and sometimes you just, you try to get close, to
Yep.
it sounds like I would try to get far away, but no, that's part of the sport. Get close to and he just, there was some little nuance to some rock formation. He's going so fast, and he wasn't even conscious of the movement he had to make to navigate out of that. And
Yeah.
it saved his life within a split second.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of close calls like that?
I've had a couple of really close calls wingsuiting. Yeah. And it's, some people live in miles, some people live in feet, some people live in inches,
Right.
and that's that thing. I mean, if you're going to go close to the walls, you better live in inches and millimeters, because and know what to do. Basically, what I've been doing my whole life is training my brain to react to situations, as a base jumper, because it's those fractions of time where you have to make the right call in an instant. And if you had to think about that, what to do, that's too late. You've wasted time and you can't react. You need to have your brain have that plan in mind, so that when a situation is thrown at you, you just duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge. But you have to be ready and have that. You have to be planned ahead, so where you're looking into the future. And if things come at you, you're like, whoo, all right, cool, we're still here. If I clipped off that wall, that would have been kiss the baby. Game over, man. Like Chet. But yeah, I've had a couple of instances where I'm flying wingsuits and I'm like, oh God, I know I shouldn't go this low over these trees, but I got to make that next clearing. If I emergency pull here, I'm going to have to hike for like 3 hours, and we're going to miss the next jump and miss this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going for it. And I get over these trees and I'm in a no pull zone. And I'm like, let out the old F bomb. Look, here we go, and I knew I'm just flying for my life. And then here comes the next cliff band, and I'm like aiming at it so that I have power and speed to beat it. And I could see Uli Gegenshot on the ground. He's looking at me yelling, pull, pull. And I'm like, not yet. Got a flare, got to do the thing, And I had rehearsed the whole, I know I'm going to pull low. I probably created it in my mind too. And I knew I was going to pull low in the last jump, and I knew what to do. I knew I needed to flare, pull, fly again, and then collapse my wing. We used to tear apart our arm wings back in the day before the wingsuits are the way that they are now. And I knew instead of pull and go for my brakes, I would have sank out and hit the ground. So I pulled and flew again, and then just got enough lift to like open up, clear my arm wings, rear riser to the right, clip the tree, land on the roof of a house, and like, woo, I'm okay. Then my canopy drops, hits the ground. I check my legs. No, I really am. I'm okay. And yeah, but if I didn't program my mind to react to those situations and have those micro moments of time, I wouldn't even be here today. So just lucky that I spent my due diligence practicing, rehearsing, and basically visualizing what I need to do to stay alive, which is why I'm here. So super lucky I had the foresight.
This comes with reps. So, speaking of, perfect segue is, how do you go into these records that you decide to do? I mean, you just said, well, I've already done this and I want to just be the leader and stand out in my sport, so I'm just going to break these records? And then was it just,
it's just one-upping each other? Like Shane and I, we would always like have, I bet you $2 and we've got this $2 bill that we always write on what the date is and who won. And we're just super competitive with each other. I thought I was the most competitive person in the world until I met Shane. And then I'm like, oh, it's on. Who's going to be the most competitive here? Let's go. And yeah, we were always just one-upping each other and just having a good old time and just playing with what we can do. And, yeah, next thing you know, we're like, okay, well, is this possible? And we're writing down ideas on bar napkins. And the next day we're like trying to like piece it together and how we can make this bar napkin come to life. And we've made a lot of plans, having a beer, having an ideation session, like, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? And then the next day we start piecing it together. Okay, if we do this, and this in this sequence, then this is possible and achievable. And if we do that, and then these sequential things, and then we put these together, and the next thing you know, we're cooking with bacon and we're styling, So yeah, we just kind of just started getting super creative and making things up. And next thing you know, they're all, hey, is this possible? I think so. And just kind of made a living out of making things possible, basically.
Right.
With parachutes.
So most consecutive jumps, you have an amazing amount of energy. Where was that? How was it executed? And tell us a little about the first one. Yeah,
Twin Falls, Idaho. We've got a bridge there I live nearby. Like I'm 3.5 miles, 10-minute drive from the bridge, 20-minute bike ride. And it's a 486 foot bridge, almost 500 feet when you stand up on the handrail. And yeah, we would always hike out of the canyon and do like maybe 8 jumps a day. It was a good day. And I'm thinking, what's the record? Who's done the most? And it was Ed Trick, and I think it was like 25, 26 jumps in a day off a power tower where he would land and pack and hike and jump and land and pack and hike and jump. And 26 is like kind of amazing actually for packing and hiking and jumping. I pieced it together with a crew to pack for me. And all I did was hike and jump and hike and jump and hike and jump. And I rode a bike out to the middle to shave off 2 minutes per jump. And I did 57 in a day on my first try. And then, but I got weathered out the last 3 hours, like almost 3.5 hours. So I had to like do it again later on after it was beat by somebody. And then I ended up doing it again.
Was it the guy that you always competing with, or a different guy?
No. Who did it? Oh gosh. Oh, come on, Miles. Stupid brain.
Well, it doesn't matter.
He's a big fitness freak.
Is it?
Yeah, he does like 1,000 pull-ups in an hour, things like that. And it's going to come to me probably as soon as we're done. But but he beat it, and then I went ahead and beat it again, and he went for it again and just tied me. So we were tied for that for 64 jumps in 24 hours. And then but now it just got beat recently by John Cox, who he's a marathon guy, and he just blew it out of the water, dude. I watched him finish it, and props to him, dude. He did 102. And that's just ridiculous. And they're all, hey, Miles, you going to beat that? I'm like, no. Look for another record now.
Okay. So I want to get into the details of your physical and emotional. I want to do an inventory of what is happening on number 60, 61, 62. What is happening with your body and everything? What's going on?
I am a robot. I am just going through the thing. I'm doing
Robot
my
mode.
checklist. I'm just, robot mode, where you're just in cruise control. And yeah, basically you're just keeping it moving and trying to pay attention to your signs and symptoms of tiredness and fatigue. Whereas if you're too fatigued and you make a mistake, it could hurt you, it could end your life, but probably more so just hurt you pretty bad. In base jumping, the injuries, they're not like, oh, he jammed a finger, he rolled his ankle. No, femur is a verb in our sport. So yeah, you don't want to femur yourself in. And I was just basically trying to pay attention to my tired levels and can I keep moving, and and my legs were kind of like giving out, so I had to jump into the river and like get in cold water and move around, and then fresh pair of socks changed the day too, And my man Mark Nietzsche's like, try these new socks on. I'm like, dude, my man, thank you. And yeah, and when I hit 64, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, I'm cooked, I'm done. And everyone's like, you still have a couple more hours left. And I'm like, yeah, here's my rig. Have fun with that, dude. I'm like pretty cooked.
How long did it take you to do 64?
I did it in like 20 and a half hours.
Well, you're sleep deprived.
I was all night. Yeah. Started at midnight, or started at 5 and I ended at 5, but I actually ended a few hours earlier than that. And yeah, you're up all night rallying. And it's funny because my buddy Luke Akins, he told me, hey, every jump, take like 10 seconds, 15 seconds to take a deep breath and just look around. And I had my favorite spot on this cliff where I'm walking, and I have my like perch that I could like see everything, and like I'm like looking at it big picture, and I stopped at my perch and I took like my deep breath one time, and I'm like, I said, don't fall asleep here. You might fall off this cliff. And I almost fell asleep right before the sun came up. And then, a couple Red Bulls later, and I'm chomping at the bit for more action, Jackson. But yeah, I did almost fall asleep on the cliff side of the wall for a minute there. And whew,
25 hours. I can't even smoke a brisket for 18 hours, drinking beers and complaining.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
sounds delicious.
Now, how long did it take you to recover from that?
The first one, it took me a couple of days. I got this acupressure massage, which I work things out like amazing. And the second one, I used cold therapy. I got into an ice bath, and my wife, Nikki, she's an OT, and she's like, how long are you getting in that ice bath for? I'm like, 20 minutes, like football, And then she's like, no, no more than 7. Right. And I was such a wuss. I could only hang out for like 4. And after 4 minutes, I'm out of there. And I'm like, I went to bed, just like fell asleep instantly. And then the next day I caught a plane and went to new equipment training for some military action. I was helping coach some Air Force guys. So yeah, it was just like one day of healing and next day back to work. So yeah, I was sore, but yeah, that cold water therapy, it works wonders.
Okay. That's what I want to ask you about. I just got one 2 days ago. I got to set it up. Got a nice one with, it's a stainless steel and the wood outside, and nice. And I got a sauna also. But I just as I got that, yeah, go back and forth. Just as I got that, someone's like, it's a fallacy, bro. That doesn't work. And I'm like, what? I heard all these great things. It works for you. Now, what does it do? What is it physically? How do you? I mean, I know you feel it.
It's like a factory reset for your body. I think your body. I don't really know exactly, but for me, what I experienced was it basically got your body into like a state of like shock where it needs to help you, and I guess it just throws things from your brain and your hypothalamus into your system that like help you heal. It's like a factory reset, like shutting your computer off and turning it back on. It's like one of those. And it just, your body, you're just shivering. It's like, I can't take this. This is the hardest part for me was my hands. But I figured out a trick is you put your hands like between your knees. Like it depends how your body position, like basically put your fingers not in or against your legs to keep your hands from freezing, because that's where the pain for me. I got my hands too cold when I was a kid skiing, and camping out as Boy Scouts. My hands couldn't take it. But once I got my hands taken care of, either not in the water or between my calves and hamstrings, then I could stay in there for longer. And then basically you just concentrate on breathing and relaxing in there. And that's the trick. It's hard to relax when your body's in like I don't know if I can take this anymore, and but if you can, I wouldn't go past 7 minutes because I mean it might do bad things for your heart.
I heard 3 is optimal, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
I heard 3 is optimal.
3 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds great.
I did
I just did it again.
I just took cold water in a bath once just to warm up like a couple months ago, just to see how I could handle it. I'm like, no big deal. I just want to warm up, no pun intended. And I was like, oh my God, this is insanely difficult just with cool water. And you'd be surprised but this is the reason why I bring this up is because this is what you do. You have jumped out of, there's a difference between unconscious incompetence and then conscious competence to where you can conceptualize something, but then when you get involved with it, you have to taste the strawberry and actually physically go beyond the level of understanding to where you're doing. And that cold water will remind your shit real quick. Now did you have to do that?
Are you alive or what?
It's like, oh my God, I knew this was gonna be cold, but this is like a sensation that is so difficult to put yourself through. Is there anything in the sky that gets you to that level?
Sky style is like, I don't know. I really love just getting out of the airplane and beginning the skydive. It's kind of like a reset for me. It's like, yes, I got some working time up here. It's going to be game on. But I mean, maybe sometimes if you have like a crazy opening where your lines are all spun up, you're like, okay, calm down. And most people start to panic when it just starts to go like ass over tea kettle and you're like, oh no, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. And that's not the time to panic. That's the time to like take a deep breath and go, okay, how are we going to work this out? Because you've got a protocol. You've only got a certain amount of working time or altitude before you need to do your emergency procedures, cut away, go to reserve. So yeah, I mean, if you have like a really crazy opening and you're all spun up like a top and you're like, oh God, here we go. And to me, that's like, you take that one moment of a deep breath to kind of calm your mind and go, okay, what's my plan? And here we go, start now and stop stopping and keep moving. And I think something like that might assimilate to it, but I think nothing beats cold water to put your body in a state of shock.
I don't know, we used to have a line tangle that I've seen those videos, man. And you know what? That's a great analogy. And that's a great lesson to learn. And anything, when something's difficult, take a deep breath, just kind of calm down in the moment.
You got time. How much time do you have? And like,
even a race car driver, when they're skidding out towards a wall, they say, just turn your hands where you want to go. Or no, the opposite. They say, just look to where you want to go and
that's wingsuiting.
Take a deep breath and just just force your eyes to go in the direction you want to go and your hands will follow.
Yes, exactly. Be the ball, Danny. And eyes where the head goes, body follows, right in the lumberyard. But eyes go and they direct your body, and where the head goes, and that's wingsuiting. You almost like look to where you want to go, and then all of a sudden your head moves, and then your shoulders move, and then you're flying that direction, and then you're powering up, and there's all kinds of rules and tricks of the trade. But basically where the eyes go, they direct your whole body and your whole life.
Meet the Bolo Pack, the ultimate travel companion that transforms into a hammock, a pop-up tent, and even a cooler. Whether you're hiking, camping, or chilling at the beach, the Bolo Pack has you covered. First up, the Bolo Pack is a sleek, compact backpack, perfect for day trips or long adventures. Need a break? With a simple pull, the Bolo Pack transforms into a relaxing hammock, perfect for catching your breath during hikes. Planning to spend the night? The Bolo Pack also converts into a pop-up tent, giving you shelter wherever you go. And the best part? The Bolo Pack doubles as a cooler, keeping your food and drinks fresh for hours. Let me show you how easy it is to switch between modes. First, the hammock. Just a few simple steps, and you're ready to relax. Next, the pop-up tent for quick shelter setup. And finally, the cooler function, ensuring you stay refreshed on the go. From day hikes to weekend getaways, the Bolo Pack adapts to your needs. Whether you're chilling, camping, or keeping your snacks cool, ready to upgrade your travel game? Get your Bolo Pack today and take your adventures to the next level. Link in the description.
So I got a great segue now that you referenced Caddyshack would be the ball, Danny. I'm like an idiot savant when it comes to movie trivia. So now you segue into stunts. When did you start doing that? You worked on Mission Impossible. Tell us a little bit about that experience, your experience doing stunts and what you've done. And that's fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my friend John DeVore pretty tied in with Hollywood, and he invited us down. He said, "Hey, I got a friend, Jeff Haberstat's putting together like a potential gig for Iron Man 3, and jammed down to Paris Valley, California, and did some jumps with ties on, and like practice getting into a group formation, and basically proved a concept that we could do it without CGI and keep it real in the movie theater, keep it real, And we did just that, and we proved it that we should shoot the Iron Man 3 segment. It's called Barrel of Monkeys, where the airplane blows up, Air Force
I
One,
remember
and
that scene so well.
That's
a major scene. That was
Major Duxley reporting for duty. Yeah, and yeah, I got to be a Marine major on that, and we wore
so cool
wool suits in. Oh my gosh, it was 98 degrees, 98% humidity in North Carolina. And oh man, it was hot. And we got yelled at for sweating into our clothes too hard. It was pretty funny. And and we were wearing hidden rigs for this stunt. And we worked with Jake Brake and Jeff Haberstat and just an amazing crew. Everyone from the Point Break movie, where that's what helped transform me into a skydiver. And I was like, I'm doing that. I want to be Patrick Swayze, And then here we are working with all the legends, putting together the hidden rig systems. And we did a world record, most hidden rig jumps in a certain amount of time, or in the world, because there was only like a handful of hidden rig jumps. And Jake Brake put together these systems where you reach into your belly to a belly mount, a belly band, and throw out your pilot chute from there. And then your bridle rips your clothes open with a cable, and then the clothes come open, then your parachute could open. And if you had a malfunction where none of that worked, you had to peel some Velcro, pull the rig up over your head to activate your emergency procedures. And thank God we didn't have to do that, because that would have been super ballsy. You would have to use the wind and like learn how to free fly and oh man. But yeah, we did 36 jumps each with hidden rigs. And then we did like a hanging from picks on our waist into the water. And like we're on a giant zip line where they like, let us go, and slam into the water. And like, you got to just cannonball up and do the big egg drop, like off a high dive when I did a lot when I was a kid. And some people got worked on that one. I remember Roberta slam, she like scorpioned over and like, my back, oh, the miles, my back, I'm like, dude, did you cannonball? She's like, no, I tried to dive. I'm like, no. Yeah, we only had one shot at that one, but that was amazing. And that was kind of my foot in the door right there. And then next thing you know, Tom Cruise is looking to do a motorcycle base jump stunt, and John asked me, "Hey, can we train him? Can we do this?" I'm like,
"We're talking about the last one, the one where he goes off the cliff on the motorcycle."
Yeah, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
That's like the most famous scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, that was all Tom Cruise. I just helped him, develop the skills. He does all of his own stunts and crushes it, and he's such a joy to work with. Oh my god, he's like, guys like that are so driven and so athletically sound that I didn't like teach him. I just told him, I'm like, hey, this is how this works. This is how this works. This is how this works. And working with John and with Wade Eastwood and the stunt crew there, we devised this plan, and Wade, dude, mastermind, put together like this whole system of, you're going to jump a motorcycle, but you're going to jump it into boxes, and you're going to get hung by these wires that the motorcycle keeps pulling you on this zip line. And it's going to give you the amplitude to practice the exit, because there's no way to practice that, but we're going to build these giant cranes, and amazing. And then we did 2 years of skydiving out of helicopters and rally and training. And Tom's a badass skydiver. He's like, dude, he was good in Fallout, but now he's awesome.
Yeah, I met him once in like was 99. He's A-type, man. He's very he's very serious about what he does.
Super focused, driven, and like, let's go. Good to see you. Let's go.
Nice that's right. Nice guy.
Let's small talk. Let's go.
I love it.
That's
sure.
my style to you.
Yeah, you are. You got a lot of energy. You're like, you probably danced really well with him on that. Where are you at today in your career?
We did 36 jumps one day.
What's that?
We did 36 jumps in one day together.
Wow.
36. Yeah. Which is my record in like, dude, it was, oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah. And we were like trying to like, okay, that's a good day. I know we can keep going, but we've had a great day. Let's have a great tomorrow and not use it all up today. You know what I mean? And it was hard to like get him to like, hey, awesome, well done, and let's just like we just ended on a sweet note. Let's continue again tomorrow and see if we can try and get anywhere close to this, And but yeah, it was amazing working with him. And when we did the stunt in Norway, in Hellesylt, Norway, he did it 7 times in one day, and he did it perfect every time. Like there was no change, and the only change was the camera angles. We did a drone follow, we did a helicopter shot, we did side angles, we did like the camera mount on the bike, but he just performed it perfectly. He not only did the stunt, he was acting at the same time, which is like props. That was amazing, to watch him do it. And oh my gosh. And yeah, just to be a part of that, just like, thank you. That was amazing. And I can't even tell you how lucky I am to be involved and rock out with like heroes and legends of mine like this on that level. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Very cool. Where are you at today? What's going on in your career right now?
Yeah, I'm load organizing. Woo, the Resurgence Boogie at Skydive San Diego and Otay Lakes Road. And we're organizing wingsuit loads. And basically I take groups of skydivers out, and I've got 2 rigs so I can go back to back, and basically there's skydivers from all different, it's like show up and enjoy, it's like, we call it boogieing. It's a party where everyone comes and boogies down, and yeah, I'm like, we're going to do ducks in a row. We're going to line up here, and everyone on this side is going to fly over and fill the slot. Or I'm going to get on my back and then carve around you. We're going to go this way, go that way, go over to the Olympic Training Center and then back here. And it's a little tricky today because the winds are a little bit funky. And landings, we're kind of in this valley, and it's awesome. It's game on. It's kind of what I like, is like have a little bit of a challenge, but I'm just trying to keep everybody landing back of the drop zone and not way out. Border Patrol, get a ride back with those guys. Yeah, they're all around us right now because you could take a left-hand turn and land in Tijuana right now. It's like I left my passport, in a hotel, but I probably should have it in my pocket right now. Nah, I'm good for landing back on the drop zone. But that's what we're doing. We're just basically having a more fun than people at Skydive San Diego this weekend, all the way through Sunday, and then
Party animal, Miles Daisher. Now, what
living the dream?
Long term, like 5, 10, 15 years out, do you plan out that far? Do you have a long-term plan? What's your long-term plan look like?
Pretty funny. Gail Hutchinson, my favorite instructor at Chico State. Like I saw her jogging around the track, and so I just dropped my bike and started jogging with her and hanging out, brown nosing a little bit, trying to get some good grades in college. And she was like, "What's your 5-year plan?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "What's your 10-year plan?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Hey,
and then she taught me more to think,
Mm-hmm.
that's college. You teach the thinkers how to think. And so I started making all these plans, and I've got some irons in the fire right now, doing some base jumps off some sick buildings in Chicago.
Wow.
My
tallest
kind of
buildings
town.
in the world, one of.
And those are the tallest buildings in the world are in Dubai. That's the Burj Khalifa, and we got our
they're
sights on this
crazy
one
out there.
too.
What they're doing out there, it's insane.
Amazing. They're building such awesome things, and I just love what His Highness is doing out there, and like building some really cool things, making dreams come true, and promoting tourism, which is what I do a lot in lots of places. I promoted tourism in Mexico, China, Panama, Dubai, and England. I'm like, I love it. I just love finding cool places and hanging out with the coolest people and epic places with amazing times. And that's kind of my life goal, is to have the cool life experiences, and just living the dream right now, and just trying to like organize and plan things out. I can't give away all my things right now, but You'll see something cool is going to happen this summer, and I can't wait to share it with everybody. It's going to be awesome. I'm reconfiguring a base rig right now, working with Squirrel. Check out squirrel.ws if you want to learn about parachutes and wingsuits and that kind of thing. There's whole like learning videos, and I'm working right now with Matt, Mike, and Will, and we're making a new style rig. It's one of a kind. Actually, going to make 2 of them, so 2 of a kind. But we're putting together some really cool things. Got some irons in the fire to like kind of promote the sport and pump things up and show what's humanly possible out there.
Man, that's awesome, man. Miles Daisher, you are having a great time. I love to see that. You are on fire. Tell everybody how they can find out more about you one more time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to check me out, check out milesdasher.com and spend some time on the old Instagram too, miles_dasher. But yeah, online I've got my website, miles, just straight Miles Dasher with an I.com. And that's how I teach. If you want to learn how to base jump, get your skydive on, get 200 skydives, hit me up and come on out and visit me in Idaho. I'm also doing courses out in Europe this summer and kind of all over the world, living the dream. And but yeah, check me out and get out there, have fun, find out what makes you tick and go do it. Stop stopping and go live your own dream. I think that's best advice I could give you. Go outside and play.
Mic drop moment right there. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Gear up for your next adventure and head over to Bolotor.com to check out the amazing Bolo Pack and their other innovative outdoor gear. Catch you next time.